Yeah, he is lumpy. Am I body shaming a fictional character? Welcome back. If you're new here, hello, my name is Jasmine. I do TV commentary, movie reviews, and I tell the occasional story time. I am also an artist, but that business isn't doing so hot, and that is why I have this second channel. I just started watching a bunch of random movies, and now I have quite a few movies that I like to watch outside of my normal mainstream. Well, I don't really watch a lot of mainstream stuff outside of my regular TV/movie watching group, I guess. Having this second channel allows me to complain about them and heavily edit everything because I'm extra. I've been on YouTube for 11 years. That's 11 years of video creation and editing. We hit 100 subscribers, so thank you for that. I got behind in making stuff because my health has been a real struggle for this last month. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my hormones. Once again, staying away from food that I thought I could eat that I cannot eat still. 1 minute I'm having hot flashes, and the next I've lost all motivation to do anything, including drawing, so I prioritize things that are required each day. This one features a career criminal, a burglar named Nico, and his pet car who helps him. A literal cat burglar. I present to you A Cat in Paris. I recently watched this after Google gave me a bunch of suggested movies during my research about another movie. We get a glimpse at how he manages to outsmart the museum's security, slithering around with his night vision goggles. This is an accurate visual representation of my cats. This movie is quite short. It's just over an hour, which I think was plenty of time to tell the story. Some things I notice about this animation style is that everything is very geometric. They purposely didn't focus a lot of attention on like the vantage point and vanishing points in certain areas like the interior of the houses, but then in others like the cityscape they did. So the story focuses on a cat who lives a double life. One life he is a career criminal, and the other life he is the pet cat of a little girl. This is what my cats do, but with hair ties. That's the only gift they bring. Every other object they come into contact with is usually on another surface, which they then knock onto the floor. If you know, you know. And this is hand-drawn animation, which we will get into later in this video because, as many of you know, I am an artist before I am a movie reviewer / commentator. And I noticed the animation style first and foremost. The little girl is Zoe. She has a pet cat named Dino, and her mom is Jean. She works as a police detective. The nanny is Claudine. She appears to be caring and patient. I don't like her.
Have you got something to show me? That's quite a collection you've got.
Something I noticed about the animation style is that the characters have a very distinct shape, and I noticed that the creators chose to animate the shadows on the characters by creating lines that constantly move as the character moves. The objects around the characters, they don't really follow any rules as far as the direction of the lines. Zoe's a strange child, let's be real.
Seems you're getting along with Claudine. I like her too, except for that perfume she wears. What is it you wanted to show me, Zoe? Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, I wish Dino would stop doing that. You cannot go on keeping dead animals in your room like this. It's filthy.
Keeping dead animals that your cat dragged in is just unsettling. I will say they chose great voice actors. You can hear the emotions in their voices.
Sorry, I'm gonna take this. Hello? I'm at home. Can't you guys handle this?
Having effective actors in a movie, whether it's animation or live action, is important. Think about it. How uncomfortable would you be watching a movie where the actors' voices don't fit the movie at all or don't fit a certain scene? It just throws off the whole groove of the movie.
You don't need to worry about me, madam.
Little girls shouldn't be playing with dead lizards.
The cringe that you'd feel if somebody is overacting or not doing enough.
Since we lost him, it seems like things haven't been right between us. But there's nothing we can do to bring him back.
In case you haven't noticed, Zoe hasn't said a single word. She's quiet because she's traumatized since her father was murdered.
The terrible tomcat. I think it's time to go hunting. I do wonder what that villain gets up to every night. Don't you?
Villain is a great word. Most cats are criminals. Tell me about the crime rate in your household in the comments. The dog barking scenes are a fabulous, humorous addition. Did you guys see the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem? Oh my god, the animation was spectacular. I want to talk about that one in another video because it's my new favorite thing. That movie also consisted of a type of hand-drawn animation for the sake of budget, and it is glorious. If you are a dinosaur, you are already familiar with hand-drawn animation. This process is also called traditional or 2D animation. This is when the artist hand draws each frame, just like the good old days. You think you have hand cramps drawing 1 or 2 pictures a year? Oh wait, that's just me. Try drawing it hundreds if not thousands of times.
And we're off. We've got work to do. You come.
Dino is bamboozling 2 households. He's getting 2 dinners. He gets a second breakfast. He stole a very important mask from that dude's house. So hand-drawn animation is still pretty popular nowadays, even though it's one of the oldest types of animation. No, you didn't want me to hold you. You got mad at me. 2D animation was the main type of animation up until 3D computer animation emerged.
In the end, they always leave me.
Dino just trots back into Zoe's house like he didn't just live a whole life of debauchery a couple of hours ago. Zoe's mom is trying to catch this criminal who is responsible for her father's death. She does work for the police.
This is the Colossus of Nairobi. Not only is it a priceless work of art, but it hasn't been displayed in public for over 30 years. It's scheduled to be transported to the museum.
She's preoccupied with the case, and there are times throughout the movie where she uses her wit, and 1 or 2 times where she ignores her wit. Oh, so you're letting me hold you again. I'm not even holding you. Why are you up here? Just 10 minutes ago, she was getting mad at me for holding her, even though she wanted me to hold her. In my younger days, I always loved watching the behind the scenes of shows, especially cartoons, and it would show the artist drawing on those clear sheets, and it would show them drawing each frame, and they were flipping their hands back and forth with several of the clear sheets. It kind of showed like the movement of the characters, so you could see that they were drawing like 4 or 5 frames in a sitting. SpongeBob, any Disney cartoon movie, DreamWorks, Pixar, cartoons were a staple of my childhood and maybe even my adulthood. When I was watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Mutant Mayhem, I was studying how each character and object looked like it was sketched, but it was still quite detailed, and so the movements of each characters also included sketch lines that moved with the character. Traditional animation requires that you sketch and color the images and ink them to bring it all together.
That spree of jewel burglaries. Have you been following those?
Yeah?
Well, the lab found something curious. At each of the locations, they found cat paw prints.
Cat paw prints.
You have 24 hours to turn something up. Got it?
Understood, Superintendent.
It's your neighbor. He's the thief. The cat left his murder mitten prints at the scene. He's not doing a very good job. You really have to be very skilled in your craft when it comes to things like animation, for example. It must meet all these criteria while also effectively telling a story. The movement and the colors are crucial to convey the feel and the plot of the entire movie.
As everyone knows, Victor Costa is still public enemy #1. His last attempt was almost successful. It cost us the life of a fellow officer.
What's wrong with her? The cop she's talking about was her husband.
The man is a raving lunatic.
Victor Costa is the most obnoxious villain.
Now, let's take a look at the route they'll be using to transport the Colossus.
Even for a villain, he's weird, dangerous, and losing his mind. Deadly combination of things. There is a scene in the movie where we get a glimpse into her mind and how she's battling all of this. It shows how much of a mental hold that Victor Costa has on her. This movie was released in 2010 and it was nominated for an Oscar, which we don't hear about too much with cartoons, at least not with 2D animation. I mean, it has to be a pretty different movie to make its mark in the world like that.
So why are you giving me chicken then?
Whoa, he didn't mean nothing by it. I'll swap you my hot dog if you want.
You think a hot dog is a substitute for sausage?
You can't rob a museum on an empty stomach. Dino's a thief. His backup family is learning so much about him. He's like one of those husbands that hides an entire second family. This is the point in the movie where Zoe finally uncovers the mystery of her cat and where he goes during those ungodly hours.
I hope you realize you're late. I almost left without you.
Yes, Zoe, he has another human. The betrayal.
You don't want me to blow my cover.
It was the nanny. A criminal posing as an unsuspecting nanny.
It's the daughter. She heard everything.
Oh, what are you waiting for? Get her!
She runs into a random house and hides.
Victims are hiding from the bad guy. They always end up being in the last place he looks.
Oh, you won't believe this. This is amazing. You've got to see what we found.
So?
Just come. You won't believe it, Mr. Costa.
Why don't you just announce my home address while you're at it?
So he's not great at being a henchman.
Right over there. Look.
What are you boys playing at?
I know he has just about had it with them.
I've found someone's treasure. But the question is, whose?
The random house isn't so random. It's the thief's house. The first thief, not this one. The cat burglar. You know what I'm trying to say. Nico.
So, you little snoop, you proud of yourself?
I hope I'm not interrupting, but what are you doing in my house?
This one's always running away from home. I spend all my time chasing after her. Come on, Zoe.
Now it's the battle of strangers fighting over a kid.
Not her mother.
Zoe, it's time to go.
No one's going anywhere until I find out the truth.
Colossus!
As the audience, we're inclined to choose between the ethical criminal and the bad criminal, so to speak.
Had enough. Come on, move. Nice man like you would never hit a woman, would you?
You gotta pick the less threatening of the two.
Bash it down now!
I can't. I hurt my shoulder.
This whole movie takes place at night. People running across rooftops. After that, it turns into one group of criminals chasing a singular criminal. Just imagine, it's 2 a.m. You're asleep. So with hand-drawn animation, background artists create the sets for the characters, usually using either watercolor or oil paints. With hand-drawn animation, each frame is drawn onto transparent sheets of paper.
Is using a mirror to capture a tricky facial expression like this. Here the animator's rough drawings are photographed in sequence, one at a time. This film is developed and returned to the animator, who checks to see how good it is by running it in a small projection machine called a moviola. Remember as a kid how you made your own movies by drawing little figures on the pages of a pad and flipping the pages to make the figures move? That's the basic principle behind animated pictures today. But that's not all there is to it. After much trial and error, several hundred rough drawings illustrating the high points of each story are completed.
An article I found on wowhow.com says, quote, despite the prevalence of CGI, drawn animation and its unique animation styles continue to hold a special place in the hearts of the millions, end quote. One criminal is slick, flexible, and able to move quickly. Meanwhile, Costa and his henchmen are all out of shape.
Stop being a baby, Mr. Baby. He's gonna escape.
It's all the ham I ate.
That's perhaps the most satisfying part of each chase, is that the people getting away are the ones in better shape. Which is further proven when Zoe hops into a boat and skedaddles, or is it skipaddles, because she's paddling away, just so that she can create distance between her and the henchmen. She doesn't speak after all that's happened, but we will get to that.
I'm Nico. Are you gonna tell me what happened? So you don't talk, but at least you can laugh. You have a mom and dad, don't you?
Please, don't move. I said don't move.
And it looks like your cat's his accomplice.
No. Well, you don't understand. It's not what it looks like.
Yeah. Tell it to the
I
judge.
was just trying to help this little girl.
I think you should know it was
The nanny just shows up out of nowhere. That's not suspicious, really?
My little sweetie, I was so worried about you.
Of course, the fake nanny is going to paint the narrative that the thief took her. I am just as shocked as you are. Just so much happening at night.
I'll take care of everything. Waited a little too long to get your voice back, didn't you?
Zoe, if you just open your mouth, you could have saved us all a lot of time. Do you want to know some facts about traditional animation? Of course you do. Hand-drawn animation is more cost-effective than CGI, and hand-drawn animation has a wider range of styles because everyone's drawing style is different. Before we had all the fancy computers and software, people had hands. They still have hands. MovieWeb.com says, quote, drawing each frame by hand gave the artist more control over the scene. Having to follow each movement naturally also brought the artist closer to the story as it unfolded, end quote. Take Iron Giant, for example. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but this is what you subscribed for. You want a boring video of me watching other people's videos and adding nothing? Well, too bad. I'm nosy. Iron Giant. That was hand-drawn animation, and it was glorious. It's one of my favorite cartoon movies.
You walk around at night looking for children to save.
What kind of cop are you? You don't even know your own nannies working for Costa?
And all that money we found on you, that was for charitable purposes, I suppose.
They're not gonna listen to you. They caught you with stolen merchandise. Everything you say after you're arrested goes through one ear and out the other.
Always the same with these guys. Lucas, watch out!
And the cat saves us once again.
All right, now listen to me. Think whatever you want, but if I were you, I'd get home right away. Zoe is in terrible danger.
Mom arrives home to find it empty, and she realizes that the thief was right.
Zoe? Claudine?
Costa is losing his mind and firing a weapon indoors like that.
Someone's gonna pay for this right now!
He should not be operating a firearm.
I hope you're proud of yourself for giving me the runaround, you little pest!
Luckily, I have you, my delicate flower. If the mother wants to see her daughter again, she'll have to give me what I want. She's gonna deliver the Colossus right to us.
Oh yeah, they all hate that lady's perfume.
What's the matter with you, love?
Oh, I'm so sorry for being nauseated at your girlfriend's awful perfume. Walking around smelling like Miss Finster's purse. The terrible perfume leads Dino to Costa's hideout, and they can rescue Zoe.
You don't think I'd rather celebrate than play babysitter here with you?
Can one of you ignoramuses get the lights back on?
Here's an interesting part in the animation where the lights are cut off. The animators decided to go back to black and white to convey the appearance of people navigating in the dark.
Get the lights back on!
The transition from black and white to color while he's going up the stairs is seamless. I don't think I've ever seen this done in a cartoon where they're creating the darkest indoor darkness by simply eliminating all of the color, leaving just outlines of the characters. When the characters are outside in the middle of the night, then they're in full color. So outside darkness isn't the same level as inside of your house darkness. It was eye-catching, at least for my eyeballs.
Yoo-hoo! Costa, come on then, jump! Or are you too afraid?
I'll show you fear!
Traditional animation, I think, was the way to go with this. That being said, Costa is out of shape. I wasn't sure how to transition to saying that.
Look, on the roof. Hey, there's another one chasing him. And there's a little girl on his back.
I don't know how much rooftop hopping he has left in him. He's got to be getting a little winded. No, he's still going.
Look at that physique!
Yeah, he is lumpy. Am I body shaming a fictional character?
Of course I am!
Is that muscle or flab in those thick hairy arms of yours?
You'll find out soon enough!
But how are you gonna beat me if you can't even catch me?
This fight is serious. And here's the part where Nico dies. Just kidding, he lives. We all wanted him to live.
Colossus, I'm coming! Get off me, you filthy beast!
What goes up must come down.
Uh-oh.
This is my favorite scene, I think.
Over, Costa. You're under arrest.
He's actually lost his mind.
Look, he's coming!
Followed by the strangest scene, which could possibly be one of the reasons why this film was nominated for an Oscar. I don't know, I didn't research why, I'm just guessing. Here's the final example of Costa not being right in the head, and he falls to his death. Now she has to catch up on all of the talking she wasn't doing for who knows how long.
Claudine? She was with the bad people. I think that's when I was when the bad guy who couldn't swim tried to catch me. That's when Dino gave him a big scratch on his hand. Are you listening to me? Don't you want to hear my story?
There you have it, folks. A very short, entertaining movie made the traditional way. Sometimes I wonder if hand-drawn art will go out of style. I mean, I'm a traditional artist. I hand-draw all of my work, so I often think that everyone is just so up on technology, especially the cancer that is AI art, that artists like myself will become obsolete. Every day I see AI atrocities being passed off as art, and every day it makes me want to shove pencils into my eyes. If you ignored the intro of this video, I'm an artist that specializes in drawing, specifically drawings that look like photos. I've always had an interest in animation and seeing how things like that are made. I often watch movies and think about how I can make my own art better. Check out my main channel in the description. I have a lot of stuff to edit. I always have a lot of stuff to edit. All in all, I think this movie was pretty great. I really liked the storyline. The animation was pretty interesting to keep watching. It looks like it's simplistic animation, but if you keep watching it, like, you can't really look away. I found this on Tubi. I quite enjoyed the movie. I think it is another one of my favorite. I have a long list of movies that I want to review, so I'm gonna try and get that done. I think I have 2 more videos to record after this. I just recorded a very long video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe and leave me a comment. It is a free way to support this channel, and tell your cats hello from me. Bye. She runs into it. Oh, I'm losing my voice. Sorry, 1 second. She runs into a random house and